Coffee is an important part of the daily ritual of millions of Americans. Because of its customizability, it's more than just a beverage, but an extension of your personality. Not only can you change the additives, but also the methods with which you brew your cup. Students use coffee in many different ways. Sometimes they need the caffeine to wake up and study, or sometimes you have to pull an all-nighter and you need a whole bunch of coffee to keep you awake. Later on in their professional career, oftentimes students will have to make coffee runs when they're new at their firm, or they might have coffee over business meetings. I've worked at Starbucks for 4 years, so I know a lot about how to brew coffee. We use French presses at my store when we're learning about our different blends because of the flavor that you can find in a cup that's been used in a French press. I would like to show you how to use one of these coffee pots and also the fundamentals to a perfect cup of coffee. First, we'll look at the essentials of coffee making. There are 4 basics for a perfect cup: proportion, grind, water, and freshness. Proportion is important because you don't want a cup of coffee that's too weak or a cup of coffee that's too strong. We recommend that you use 2 tablespoons per 6 ounces. Grind is important related to what method you're using. A French press would have a much coarser grind than an espresso machine, and even automatic coffee makers with different shape filters require different grinds. Your water is important because fresh spring water will taste better than tap water that may have some kind of extraneous flavor to it. And you don't want your water to be too hot because it can scorch the coffee and change the flavor. The freshness of your coffee is very important. You want to use it within a week or 2 of having it ground. If you don't drink coffee a lot, you can buy an inexpensive coffee grinder for your home. Now we're going to talk about the French press. There are 2 different parts to the French press. There's the bottom part. It's just an insulated pot. There's nothing really special about it. And then there is the plunger part, which has a seal on the outside and fine mesh to catch the coffee. The materials that you will need to make your cup of coffee is coffee itself, your scoop. This is a tablespoon-sized scoop, your French press, and also your water. First, you will scoop your coffee. Since we are going to use 12 ounces, I have already prepared 4 tablespoons. So you'll dump it in. You'll pour your water on top, making sure that you get it spread out evenly and that you get all of the grounds wet. A good idea might be to take your scoop and to mix it up just a little so that everything is soaked. And then you take your lid and you place it on top. At this point, you would take a timer and you would time your preparation for 5 minutes. At the end of that time, you would take the plunger and press it down, capturing all the grinds, and then you could pour your perfect cup of coffee. Now that you know how to make a cup of coffee, we will review the fundamentals: grind, proportion, water, and freshness, and also the steps: scoop, pour, mix, time, and then plunge. French presses are great because they are manufactured in a variety of shapes and sizes. You can use them for travel. And if you're having a dinner party, it's easy to make a cup of coffee, and some people might not have seen it, so it's unique and it gives you something to talk about. Now that you've learned about the French press and the fundamentals of coffee brewing, you can always have a perfect cup of coffee, and you yourself can be a coffee master. Thank you.